in the town where I was raised, the clock ticks and the cattle graze. Time passed with amazing grace back where I come from. Now you can lie on a riverbank or paint your name on a water tank, or miscount all the beers you drank back where I come from. Back where I come from, where I'll be when it's said and done. And I'm proud as anyone, that's where I come from. We learned in the Sunday school who made the sun.
What was she like as a child? Well, she was the youngest of 7, so she was, as she called herself, she was a pretty princess.
She's definitely the pretty princess of the family, and she can always get what she wants.
I do remember Jessie's kindergarten graduation. She got up and was so excited to go to her graduation, and I noticed a few spots on her stomach, and she broke out with the chicken pox. And she was so mad at me for not letting her go to her kindergarten graduation. And I tried to get a picture of her, and she would turn her head away from the camera, not even look at the camera. When I think of her as a child, I think of her being with Ryan, because her and Ryan were together all the time and played all the time together, were together, whatever they were doing.
Jessie was the little chub. Very cute chub, and obviously she's grown out of that. But I know if you had asked me this as we were growing up, I would say she was a little brat. We fought a lot, but we also played a lot more. But most importantly, Jessie has probably been one of my best friends throughout my whole life. And in the end, she was definitely always there for me. She was my buddy.
As a child, I would describe Jessie as sassy, and I guess I always remember her as having a huge mop of permed hair. I guess, first of all, I think of her as a little girl. We spent a lot of time playing in the mud, playing Indian, swimming. We shared a bedroom. I guess I also remember giving Ryan and Jessie rides to school in the morning, and I would make them sit in the back seat. And if Sting ever came on the radio, they would start singing along to it, and I guess I just thought that Jessie and Ryan were the biggest dorks because they love Sting. And Jessie would never admit that, by the way.
So my first impression of Jessie was like, she's kind of weird. We started talking about movies, and she's never seen Top Gun and never seen The Goonies. And that's pretty weird that no one's ever seen those two movies.
Now, as a grown-up, I would describe her as goofy.
I think she can be extreme goofball. She's a lot of fun.
Fairly dramatic.
Enthusiastic and feisty. I guess that's a word you could use.
How I would describe Jessie is she's very goal-driven.
She's very goal-oriented. She'll set her mind to something and she won't stop until she gets it done.
She's hardworking and a high achiever.
She is very, very intelligent.
Well, she's just a very caring and sincere person, and I think she's got it figured out.
Very caring and very independent.
She's really beautiful, and she came from a nice farm community with a really nice family.
Jessie is one of the most family-oriented people I know. She'll do anything for her family, and if you ever do anything bad to the family, she will let you know. So don't mess with her family.
What a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and
She loves her family and always wants to be around them. And she loves anything outside, gardening and camping and fishing and anything outdoors, but she hates worms. Go figure.
also on the faces of people passing by. See friends shaking hands singing, how do you do? They really say
What do you think of Jessie?
She's really good too. She has brown hair and she has a little bit of yellow in her. And we get to see you when you come back to Grandma Chandler's.
What are some things you like to do with Jessie and Andrew?
Go on bike rides in Lincoln on the bike trails. I remember when we went ice skating together in the cornfield pond. That was fun.
Jessie's always been a great aunt and a great sister-in-law and sister and a good role model for Jaylee to look up to.
My favorite aunt is Jessie, and she likes Andrew, and we do a lot of stuff.
How do you know Jessie?
Because she has a puppy.
Oh. Is she related to you?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places had their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you.
What was Andrew like growing up? Well, he started playing basketball and golf and was real serious about sports at about 2 years old. And he always wanted to master whatever he was learning to do. If it was skateboarding or basketball, he might work on one shot for 4 hours. Or if he was golfing, he might work forever on one swing for a long time. And if he didn't like that swing, he would change it. So he was very determined and driven.
I remember sitting there at the high school behind the basketball hoop there on the east end where the band always played. Watched him play. He was pretty good at basketball.
Very hardworking. I think he's very athletic and just fun to watch.
took him as like a sports guy. He liked to play sports, and he was one of those guys that probably liked to run around with us and play with us in the yard when all the cousins want to play a game. And he kind of is. He likes to play games with us and likes to have fun.
I like the fact that he had a lot of the same interests that I had. We're both interested in sports and the Huskers, and so it was really easy to get along with Andrew and really easy to fit in.
What do you think of Andrew?
He's bald. He's really good.
A tall, bald guy.
Andrew I would describe as very adventurous. He met our family once and actually came back.
He was athletic and funny and seemed fairly intelligent. And I remember dancing with Andrew at Huckleberry's shortly after I met him, and we had a good time.
I saw him and thought, he's a nice looking guy, and he had that big smile.
It's just ever since then, I just really saw Andrew for who he was, and that's just a jackass. So that's a story that really jumps out at me, and that's really who Andrew is. I don't want anybody else to think any different.
Well, when he's on the bicycle, he's kind of dangerous. We used to go on family bike rides together, and one time he was showing off and we were all riding down the street, and the next thing we knew, he ran square into the back of a car and landed on the trunk of the car. Made him so mad. He got back on the bike and he wouldn't show off anymore.
Mace and I go way back to like 8 years old, golf, all that stuff growing up. Hopefully my children will have friends like you growing up. You're my truest friend I've ever had. And hopefully that means a lot, because you've been kind of a voice of reason when I've done a lot of dumb stuff growing up, and I appreciate that, and I'd do anything for you, real bad analogy, but I'd take a bullet for you, I truly would. So I love you like a brother I never had.
He was always interested in making movies, and Johnny tells about all the treasure hunts they went on, or all the different things he imagined for him to do. They were always on an expedition, and it was because Andrew dreamt it up for them to do.
Loves to make movies.
Obviously the movies going back in the day.
Just, fun filmmaking, not radar movies.
That was just good, clean, fun. It's just small town stuff where we got together and made those stupid spoof movies, and it was the time of our lives. I still pop those DVDs in there and look at them.
Andrew liked to make movies. We made a huge class movie, and he was the director.
That's kind of fun for me, to still go back and laugh and look at the outtakes where it'd take us 2 hours to shoot 2 minutes of actual video stuff. Those are some of my probably best memories.
I met Andrew back in physical therapy school down at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. Overall, we had a good class. Andrew was supposedly the smart guy. Whether that he was actually smart, arrogant, who knows. In lab, Andrew is known as having the most coldest hands ever. So I don't really know if anyone wanted to be his lab partner.
So when Jesse and Andrew get married, what's that going to make Andrew?
What?
What will Andrew be when Jesse and Andrew get married?
Niece. Or uncle. And aunt.
And Andrew will be your aunt?
No, uncle. And then Jessie will be our aunt.
She already is your aunt, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, Ethan.
The first time I heard about Andrew, she came in and she was just glowing, and I knew something was up right away.
Andrew and I had gone out to San Francisco for a trip. And during this whole trip, he was talking about this Jess girl that he knew back home. During this time, Jess herself was also taking a trip, and she was driving across country, and somehow Andrew had talked her into picking him up in San Francisco so they could drive back together. No matter what Andrew and I did, he talked literally nonstop about this Jess girl.
Well, first thing I think people think about is the age difference.
Jessie said she was seeing an older man, and when she said that, I know I was very concerned because a few years ago, Jessie had helped me at the farmer's market, and she had kind of had this 75-year-old man chasing her around, wanting to, I assume, date her. And so when she said she was dating an older man, it scared me a little bit because I didn't know how old he would be.
I remember one night out at Karen and I's house that I remember Jessie and I had to stand out there until the sun come up. And so we're out there drinking all night, but there's not a person on this world that I love to argue more with. But she is bound and determined to tell me that you never find the right one. And I laughed and laughed and laughed and carried on. So Andrew comes along and we watch Jessie and his relationship grow. And I've always just sat back and laughed at that evening.
He always treated Jessie really good, and that gained a lot of respect for me and my approval right away.
You're getting into one of the most unique and tightest families that you could imagine.
We always take an annual sibling tanking trip, and Andrew came along with us. And we always have our girl tank and the boy tank, and we got Andrew in the girl tank, and we interrogated him with questions of his intentions with Jessie and why he was attracted to Jessie, and which doesn't sound bad except that Gina was beating an oar on her hand the whole time.
Apparently I asked him what his intentions were with Jessie, and I'm glad to know now that they're getting married.
I don't know what took him so long to actually finally pop the question. Jess, you are a trooper for hanging in there.
I couldn't be more happy. I was probably the worst one at the start. Andrew had to pass the test for me. I was probably overprotective, but man, once I got to know Andrew, we couldn't be more happy.
Andrew, you fit right in with the family.
I think that they're perfect together.
I just think they have a lot of fun together. I always see them teasing each other, picking on each other. They're always laughing about it and giving each other a hard time.
I know they've had their spats and their disagreements, but I know one can't be without the other for very long.
They just seem very well suited, and
they both have a compassion for life that is very obvious. I would describe them both as adventurous.
I would say just it's one big adventure. Look at them, they're doing stuff all the time, going here and there. They've been on trips.
You guys are one of the most energetic couples, full of life, full of energy, and fun to be around.
They get along great, like being outside, and love recreation. And
they're both very driven, and they never settle for second best. They want the best, and they're willing to work for it.
Do you have any advice for when they get married?
Yes.
What advice do you have for them?
I would just say to have lots of patience and understanding with each other, because when two families come together like that, there's lots of differences, so you just got to learn to accept the way they are.
My advice for Andrew is just to remember that us Chandler girls are strong, stubborn women who are always right. So no matter what Jessie says in life, absolutely no matter what it is, you just always need to nod your head and say, "You are right, dear."
I've only been married for about half a year, so I don't have that much advice. The only thing I can tell Andrew is she's always right. Just always say, yes, dear, give her a mm-hmm.
Andrew, Jesse is always right. No matter what, Jesse is right.
It's to never be afraid to tell each other you're sorry. Some nights you'll go to bed where you're mad at each other, but don't be afraid to run out and get off the couch, Andrew, and just grab her in your arms and tell her you love her.
Talk a lot. Talk about anything and everything and nothing at all.
Always and forever be best friends. Life's so much easier when the person that you want to share heartache with is the same as the person that you want to share your joys with.
Don't try to do too much too soon. It'll all come. Just take a day at a time.
Always remember you have tons of family that would do anything for you, so make use of them. Family is great.
I love you, Jesse. I love you.
We've had some fun times together, and I'm sure we'll have plenty more. Best wishes and good luck in the future.
Congratulations, Jesse and Andrew.
I love you guys both, and I am so excited for you two. Congratulations.
We're great friends. We do a lot together. We couldn't ask for better friends, and they're going to make a great couple, and I wish them the best.
Just want to say that I'm happy for Jesse and Andrew, and I hope that their life is full of many great adventures and maybe some kids too.
About 7 kids and 5 kids and 4 kids, but hopefully you guys live long and prosper.
You guys will have a great life. We've enjoyed so many fun times already, and a lot more to come. So, good luck. I hope this thing got it on tape, because I'm not doing it again.
The end.